The snow was falling softly that evening. Everything looked peaceful, even though it wasn't. Holly sat in her car for a moment before getting out. She was 31, a creative director, successful, but tonight she felt like that same little girl, the one who never seemed to be enough. "Oh, you're wearing green? That color doesn't suit you." No hello, no hug, just the same words that had followed her for years. Love here always had conditions. The room smelled of pine, cinnamon, and quiet judgment. Every year she hoped it would be different. Every year she told herself, maybe this time they'll see me. Holly placed a small velvet box under the tree. That little box, it wasn't just a gift. It was a secret, a symbol, and the key to a truth that would change everything tonight. Before the night was over, her mother's words, "You're the most useless child we have," would return. But this time, Holly wouldn't stay silent. She would show them exactly who funded the life they bragged about. "My mom said I was useless until I showed who paid for her lifestyle." Growing up, Holly was the quiet one, the helper, the fixer. Every time something went wrong, her mother would sigh and say, "Holly will handle it." And she always did. When the furnace broke, Holly paid for it. When her sister needed college money, Holly sent it. When her father's surgery bill came, she covered the difference. Every time her mother said, "Don't tell anyone, it would embarrass your father." Years passed and success became Holly's armor. A good job, her own apartment, a car she bought herself. From the outside, she looked like she had it all. But inside, she was still that little girl trying to earn her mother's love with one more sacrifice. Each call from home carried a quiet message, not love, but need. Every favor was wrapped in guilt, every thank you followed by a new request. "You know your brother's struggling. You're doing so well, honey. You can help, can't you?" And Holly did, again and again, until her heart felt like a bank account that never stopped overdrawing. That tonight would be different. She didn't know it yet, but this was the last time she would pay for peace. Dinner started like every other holiday. The table was full, the laughter loud, the same old stories told again. Holly smiled politely, waiting for her turn to share her news. She had just been promoted to creative director. Years of hard work finally paying off. She took a deep breath and said it proudly. "I got promoted last week. I'm the new creative director." For a second, there was silence. Then her mother spoke. "Oh, well, at least one of my children is finally doing something right." Her brother smirked, her sister rolled her eyes, and the room moved on like nothing happened. The praise she hoped for never came. But it was after dessert that everything broke. Holly's mother looked straight at her and said the words that would change everything. "You know, Holly, you're the most useless child we have. You don't visit enough, you don't call enough, and you think money fixes everything." The room froze. Her father looked away. Holly felt her chest tighten. But this time, she didn't cry. She reached for her phone, opened her banking app, and set it on the table. "Let's talk about money then." Her voice was calm, steady. One by one, she read the transfers, the furnace, the tuition, the surgery, every payment she made to keep them comfortable. "You said I don't visit enough, but maybe I was too busy paying for all the times you didn't plan ahead." Silence filled the room. No one spoke. For once, her mother had no words. "The Bank of Holly is closed." She stood, picked up her coat, and walked to the door. No shouting, no tears, just a quiet, final truth. Outside, the snow was still falling, but this time, it didn't feel cold. It felt clean. It felt like freedom. The next morning, Holly woke up to dozens of missed calls and messages. Her mother's words were spreading fast, twisted versions of what happened sent to every relative they had. She sat on the edge of her bed staring at her phone. The guilt tried to creep back in, but she reminded herself, truth isn't cruelty, it's clarity. That day, she met with Daniel, her fiance. He listened quietly as she told him everything. No judgment, no pity. You didn't lose your family, Holly. You just stopped paying for their love. His words sank deep. For the first time, she realized she wasn't broken. She had just been drained. Over the next few days, the calls kept coming. Some relatives attacked her. Others whispered support. But one voice stood out, her father's. I just want to understand what happened. They met for coffee. He looked older, smaller somehow. When she showed him the records, every payment, every date, his eyes filled with shame. I didn't know it was that much. I should have stopped it. It was the first honest thing he'd ever said to her. He promised to change, to take a job again, to make things right. Meanwhile, Holly focused on her own life. She started therapy. She took time off work. The silence that once scared her now felt peaceful. Weeks later, her mother showed up at a cafe with her sister. They cried, apologized, begged. Holly listened, but stayed calm. I forgive you, but forgiveness doesn't mean I have to go back. She paid the bill one last time, stood up and said softly, this is the last thing I'll ever cover. And just like that, she walked away. Not angry, not sad, just free. Months passed. The distance that once felt painful now felt peaceful. Holly began rebuilding her life, not from guilt, but from choice. Her days became quieter. Morning walks replaced phone calls. Therapy became her new routine. For the first time, she wasn't fixing anyone. She was healing herself. Her father started therapy too. Sometimes they met for coffee, not to talk about the past, but just to share silence. It was progress, small, real, human. Then came the wedding, a calm, intimate day filled with genuine love. No grand performances, no pretending. Her mother sat a few rows back, quiet, unsure where she fit in this new version of her daughter's life.
Your strength taught me what love really looks like.
Holly smiled, not because everything was perfect, but because she finally felt enough. During the reception, her brother approached. No jokes, no excuses, just a check in his hand.
I owe you this, and a thank you.
She accepted it with a simple nod. It wasn't about money anymore. It was about respect, the one thing she had fought so long to earn. As months turned into seasons, her life began to bloom. New friends, laughter that didn't feel forced, a home filled with warmth that came freely. On Christmas morning, Holly wore that same green dress her mother once mocked, but this time she saw beauty in it. Her own kind of defiance. Around her table were people who loved her for her, not for what she gave. The room smelled of cinnamon again, but this time it smelled like peace. YouTube script, Scene 6, Resolution, Emotional Closure. Time passed and Holly's life settled into something calm, something real. The noise that once filled her days had been replaced with quiet confidence. In therapy, she spoke about her family without anger, without pain, just acceptance.
What's changed the most, Holly?
I don't measure my worth by what I give anymore. Her words carried no bitterness, only peace. One afternoon, her mother came by unexpectedly. She held a box of old family photos, memories that once hurt to look at. I thought you might want these. Holly took the box gently, flipping through the pictures. Birthdays, graduations, family dinners, moments that used to sting. But now, they felt like chapters she'd already finished reading. Thank you, Mom. Her mother hesitated, waiting for more, but Holly simply smiled. Boundaries didn't need walls anymore, just clarity. That night, she placed the photos on her shelf beside a new album labeled The Future. Inside were pictures of her wedding, her travels, her quiet mornings, real smiles, real peace. As she turned off the lights, her reflection caught her eye. For the first time, she didn't see the useless child. She saw a woman who had learned that love isn't proven by sacrifice. It's protected by self-respect. In the silence of her new home, she whispered softly, "Love without boundaries isn't love at all." And for the first time in her life, the silence didn't feel empty. It felt like freedom.